Hello, everybody. Welcome to season 2 of 420 Table Talk. My name is DB.
Willie T. How y'all doing?
How's everybody doing? We're going to do a little recap of season 1. But first, you know how we do.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
we're stoned.
You know, that's the name of the channel. Like, Sorry We're Stoned. We got the merch, too. You know, merch. Like Rick and
You
Morty.
can go onto our page
Bye.
and find it. Find it on our page.
Yeah.
Or
Shopify. We'll have a link in the description.
In the description, Shopify. And remember, guys, we still haven't gone away from passing bowls, not bongs. Remember last season we talked about that a lot?
Right?
You know, because we learned that, you know, everybody should have a bong by now, and just pass the bowl. You know, you gotta like we was talking about the dead dry skin on the bong pieces and all that. We're like, we don't want none of that, guys. No. And then what did we have for our season finale last time? We had who was that guy? Robert.
Yeah, my buddy Robert came through. That was a great
Yeah.
little show, man. Robert he's been in the, you know, chef business for a long time. And
Didn't he like Cooking with the Stars, the American?
he loves Oregon like so much. He comes out here, he stays, he loves it. But then they call up and they beg him to come cook in LA, and he hates it.
Yeah.
He hates it. Don't let his clients hear us. But I think he was cooking for. I think he was cooking for the guys who do Tito's down there in LA this last time when they when they were begging him to come work. So.
That was at Christmas.
And he does all the hemp cooking too, so that was kind of fun. I didn't know that. I'd known the story about Spider-Man for a long time.
Right.
But I never knew it was hemp products that he used. That was actually really cool. I mean, he's my friend, and I learned something in our table talk here.
Heck yeah.
Look at me, see here. I'm all about the face mask now. It's all about freedom. I ain't trying to let them satellites take my picture, so.
No satellite pictures, we got no cameras for that. But yeah, folks, so and last season we touched a lot on, it was a fucking one hell of a year last year, wasn't it, buddy?
I mean, 2020, it came, it hit us with the bricks. I loved a lot of the optimism everybody had, like, everybody's like excited, 2021's here,
Right.
But it's like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, all of a sudden the virus is going to be like, it's the new year. You guys had enough. I'm going to pack up and go home.
Right.
I'm done. The oppressive government's going to be like, it's been a while since we've been pressing you guys. We're just going to go ahead and back off for a minute,
Well, my biggest problem is every time I go in the store and I have a little cough because I've been smoking a little too much, I got somebody working on me over here, like, they'll give me the hex, so when I got this shirt, guys, check it out. Sorry, my cough isn't from COVID.
It's from the coronavirus.
From the coronavirus, you know what I'm saying? So, it's pretty funny. Today when I was at the store, I was wearing the shirt, and I was at the store, and the guy goes, hey, mine's not either. I get that sometimes, too. And I was thinking, so I forgot I was wearing it, like, what are you talking about? You get that, too? And then, oh, yeah.
You get the coronavirus too?
He got COVID 420.
Got a cough, man. That might not make it to the end of the show.
So what do you think about this new year bringing us? Think we'll get anything good this year, Willie? Or we got a new president?
Look at it. Okay, so the thing is just a couple months ago, it was another election season, so it was time for people to be like. And they came out with it. Everybody was posting about it. Everybody was sharing it. Everybody's like, today's the day federal legalization happens. Kind of forgetting like this is like the 4th or 5th time that the House has done something, but then it gets squashed in the Senate because the bills crush it. And they should sing a song about that. I'm just a bill that's going to get House. And it's funny because when they say get crushed in the Senate, the bill in the little cartoon says, oh no!
Right, yeah.
But I agree. So, seeing that the Senate's been taken over by the Democrats, now that, it opens up the way, there's no way to point the finger and be like, oh, well, they're not going to pass it.
Right.
It's going to be crazy to see
Well, let's see
how
what
they
happens.
legalize it, right? You
If
think
they-
they're gonna federally legalize? You think the Democrats are gonna federally legalize it?
I mean, I kind of think they're going to, and the reason I say that is because, but I think that once they do legalize it, they're gonna get some type of foothold on it. You know, like they do with the pharmaceutical industry. You know, and then what are we gonna have? We're gonna have R.J. Rollins and the guy that makes Marlboro and all them stepping in. Now we have, you know, that's gonna be our suppliers. So we're gonna be able to buy marijuana at every corner store, gas station. I mean, how's that gonna work? You know what I mean?
Right. That's a good question.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
Like that, you know, there's ways to look at it. There's like legalization, and then there's descheduling. You know,
Yeah.
like legalization, regulation, and you know, a lot of my guys in other states they know all about this. You know, legalization didn't necessarily mean, you know, legalization. It meant
Right.
regulation.
Regulation, right?
And you know, that might be probably what they're going to do because it's been, you know,
Right.
I hate to say it, it's been proven in every state. We do it every time.
So then what happened?
I'm impressed because I'm sitting here. We're in Oregon. We're selling, you know, products and you know, we want to sell some cannabis, you know, and it's like, oh yeah, man. There's no. It's so weird because it's like, hey, you want to sell an apple? Well, that's okay. There's no tax on that. All right.
Right.
Oh, you want to sell a little bit of weed? Okay, we're going to take a 25% tax on that.
Right.
And the thing is weed has been legalized for a long time. Like legalized for only like 2 years. You know, up until then it was the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, right.
Tobacco's, you know, been killing people and never been illegal. And then it's like, oh, you know, tobacco, e-juice, we're going to go 65% tax on that. Like,
Oh, right.
how is... Like all these weird taxes on different, it's just all over the board. And I can see that happening, especially with the way, you know, our industry has really taken THC and separated,
Right,
you know,
CBD.
CBDs and now the new things, the Delta 9s and the Delta 8s and,
Right.
you know, all this, you know, separating all these compounds, taking the plant, separating it. And see, I think that's where a lot of the regulation will come in play because when you do that, then it's going to be, we'll regulate CBD products, we'll regulate THC.
Right.
These plants can only be grown for, you know, this
Right.
particular purpose. And that's where they'll be able to make a bunch of regulation that really keeps it from
Right.
being simple, me and you growing at home. I mean,
See, and the thing I worry about is, so once they do that, so what, does all the dispensaries go away now?
Yeah.
You know, does you know, everything that we've worked towards all these years to get, now that goes away? You see what I'm saying? Like all the things that we fought for to be able to grow our own plants, to be able to,
yeah.
you know, do all that, is all that gonna, like, I don't know, I mean, to me, I kind of feel like that might just go away a little bit. It might start getting swept under the wayside a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, where you're only allowed to have one plant, Willie.
Right.
One plant per person in the whole United States, only one, you know what I'm saying? So,
Well, shit, they might not even allow you to have a plant.
they might not, right,
I mean,
right.
technically, you can't have a tobacco plant.
Right, well, that's,
So-
yeah, because of, look at, and you know why they did that?
Yeah, I mean, we can
They
get into that conversation.
legalized, they made tobacco illegal to plant and cultivate yourself
Mhm.
just to protect the tobacco industry. So I can definitely see them doing that with the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
And dude, we've come so far though. The industry as a whole, think about it.
Mhm.
Between from your mom and pop pipe shop, you know, back in the 70s,
Oh, yeah.
to now we
No,
got,
the original head shop. You know why
Yeah.
they're called head shops? Lots of people don't know this. They're called head shops. I would love this because we'd always get asked when I had a little shop, when I first
wanna
got my
know.
shop.
I never known.
And I never wanted to be applied to the word head shop because head
Right.
shops were getting raided. You know, that's
Right.
the day I come from, you know?
I got you.
And so people would come in and he'd be like, yo, hey man, you got any Grateful Dead stuff? And I'd be like, I'm sorry, we're not a head shop. And they're like,
right.
huh? What? you're not a head shop. We're like, no, we're not a head shop. We don't sell Grateful Dead stuff. That was started up in the 1970s.
Right, yeah.
They would sell these Grateful Dead items, and then underneath the counter, they'd have their pipes, and they'd sell their pipes.
Right.
Because a lot of the big glass blowers were going to Grateful Dead shows and selling their pipes.
That's happening a lot in Berkeley, California.
Yeah, and those guys would buy from those guys at those shows and take them to their little town, and they had to have something in the store. I mean, you gotta sell something. So they sell all this Grateful Dead memorabilia, twisted necklaces, and all kinds of stuff. But they were making their living off of pipes underneath the table.
You know there was.
You know?
Dude, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, this is really like been baffling because like, what's gonna be our benefit from it going fully legal? Say it goes fully legal tomorrow.
I mean, our benefit
What
is
do we
not going to
benefit from
prison. Like, that's...
Oh, okay. Not going to prison. Yeah,
going
right.
to prison.
Yeah, we ain't gotta go to prison. There we go.
The first benefit.
That might
You know, when I fought for legalization, I also, I made a living. I was making a living.
Right.
And everybody was always, you're shooting yourself in the foot, basically. Because, I mean, think about it. You legalize what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you just kind of got to figure out who you are. And that's why I kept pushing forward, because to me it was more about making sure, a young child coming up in this world doesn't fear for it because he tried marijuana.
Right.
Doesn't end up messing his whole rest of his life up because he got caught up in the jail and prison system.
Right. Look at the guy we talked about last season of Jackson. That guy up there in he stole 3 pounds and he's still in prison. They've been there for 35 years now. He's talking about that last season.
Yep.
All these people. So now if it goes fully legal, they gotta let all these motherfuckers out.
They better let all these motherfuckers out. Just empty the prisons out.
Empty the fucking prisons.
Hurry up.
Want some weed? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, our government is still oppressive as fuck, so they're just keep it. Oh man, curse too much, get kicked off YouTube.
Oops.
But they'd still keep everybody in there for a little tiny rock. Got busted with 3,000 pounds, but homeboy's doing life in prison because he had .25 crack rock on the wrong street in the wrong neighborhood.
Last night I thought about this podcast a lot today because I was thinking of what if it does go legal, and then I was thinking about the Prohibition era when alcohol was legal. Remember, and they had the bootleggers and stuff, and
we have a video on our Sorry We're Stoned page that actually talks about Prohibition in Oregon State.
Oh, okay.
And they actually had an expose on Prohibition as they were trying to prohibit sales of goods.
Right. So what I'm getting at is what I'm getting at here is this point that so say they legalize it. The alcohol wasn't legal, right? So all these people were bootlegging. So then the government realized that there's this fucking money out there to be had, so then they legalized it again, right? And then they gave it to these big companies like Budweiser, Coors, Busch, and all them people, right? They partner with them so that they can get their cut, and then they get their money. Mm-hmm. Now, I wonder if back then, if the House and Senate was being ran by Republicans or Democrats. You see what I'm saying?
How far back then?
To the Prohibition era.
Oh man, well it's crazy because I mean you look at it and never get twisted. I love, I know when I do some of these videos and I say either DNC or ANC, I got guys on each side going, "Oh, Willie's for Willie," they've both been flipping ever since the beginning of time. That's what the job is. That's what they do. I'm gonna be quick for a second. Yeah, and that's just what their job is. That's how they've done it. They flip. That's the goal of the two-party system, is to give up just enough without just giving just enough.
Right.
So that's like where it comes to the DNC. I'm not gonna let up. We've been, rooting along our fellow marchers and stuff like that. And we're gonna do the same for legalization of cannabis, because if the House, the president, and all these are on the same party, and that party has used cannabis legalization as a major platform for gathering its constituents, well then it needs to, comply and do that. It needs to do what we want,
Do what they say they're gonna do.
We want legalization, so whatever that needs to be, they need to, It definitely needs to be done right, but it definitely needs to be done in a hurry. Because I fear that the longer we as a people let it keep going, it's going to stack on more and more regulation that's going to keep more and more of us out.
Oh,
You know, like we need to demand that we push through a full legalization and basically a full decriminalization. In other words,
Right.
no prison, no jail time.
Decriminalization of the
Yes,
plant.
decriminalization of the complete plant, the whole plant. You know, you can possess it, you won't go to jail for it. They're not in federal investigations for, you know, just end it. Just stop
Yeah, this would be
the
done.
war on cannabis,
That's right.
and that should be
And
the
take
main
that
demand.
fucking money and get it to the war on heroin and shit. Cause look at all these heroin addicts
Right.
and get it back get it to the people out there pushing pharmaceuticals on the streets and shit, bro. I mean,
You
like,
want to
they got a
figure
lot
out
more
how
they
to
can do.
get good programs like UBI and all that good started? These are the ways to do it, and start encouraging AI.
Right.
You know, let's embrace technology. Let's, you know, we're getting way too gone on that. Let's stick it
No,
to
I got
cannabis, but let's keep cannabis legal. Like, let's legalize cannabis. If we sit here and mull it over for 2 years, they're gonna come out with a fucking 500-page, you know, fine print regulation. And it's gonna be a bunch of, you know, stuff we don't know about until years down the road, and
Or until you get in trouble for that.
yeah.
That
But
you didn't
it just
know
needs to
about.
end. You need to
Right,
be able
yeah.
to drive across the states and not have to, you know, have cannabis. I have a trip coming up, and you know, I'm sitting here thinking about going and visiting a certain state, and I'm like, yeah, probably not, because you know, I might not have weed on me. But I have a water pipe that looks like a bong.
Yeah, no.
You know, a cleaning solution
Might
that
get caught
comes
up
in
with the case or something.
in a green cleaning
Right.
solution that comes in a reusable water pipe bottle, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you got a water pipe in the wrong state. Hey, buddy, 3 to 5, you know.
Right.
Go become, you know, because it's messed up. Like, if you think about it, like a good life, you know, medium income's like $22,000, you know, that's what they think a person's worth. But
Right.
in the prison system, you're worth, you know, almost 4 times that,
Right.
you know, like,
Yeah,
so
yeah, sure. Oh, yeah.
it's dollars and cents. So we gotta take
and it makes
away from
makes
that.
no sense.
It makes no sense. We gotta take it away. We have to legalize on our own, like, decriminalize, just end the
Right.
war. End the war. Not make up a bunch of rules to make sure the fucking wealthy stay in and
Right. Just get rid of them, decriminalize
Yeah.
them, let the people out of jail.
yeah.
You know, I mean, if anybody out there is listening that wants to get, and you know, I mean, people need to do that. You have to do something about it. We can't just sit here and be stagnant and expect for our government or whoever the hell we think is in charge to get it done. We got to get out there and
the
proactive, right? We got to be proactive with it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm looking
proactive
at, right.
instead of reactive. And
Yeah.
there's, you know, every single state you're in, no matter what state you are in, no matter how backwards,
Yeah, right.
redneck,
Right.
whatever state you think you're in that you don't think you could survive in, you know, that you can't do anything in, there is a group, you know, there is a HempFest group, you know, there are
Look, Mississippi
normal
got a
groups,
cat.
you know. Yeah, there are, you know, normal, NOR, without the, you know, A in there, NORML, normal.com, you know, great resource. Find those groups, get with them, you know, talk to them, you know.
Signatures, that's how you
Yep.
get it on the ballot. You got to get them signatures.
Yep.
Look what happened last year.
And never
with
let petty stuff, like, the one
Right.
thing that sucks about groups, too, is, like, you'll get groups, and it becomes, you know, let's get vulgar, it becomes a dick race. Everybody starts, you know, well, we got this, we got that, we got this, we got that. And they start kind of trying to fight each other. And I think that's like the most counterproductive thing. Like, I think when we were legalizing 502 in Washington, like, there was definitely a different feel. We lost a lot of support from some of the medical groups, but I think that the other groups started to embrace each other
I remember that.
just a little bit better, and it helped because, you know, they were joining together, working together, you know, starting to, you know, a bunch of smaller groups starting to become bigger groups, and that's how we got behind the effort. That's how you attracted, like, Rick Steves to it, and he started talking about it, and that's what we got a lot of the older generation to come out and vote for it. And that's what happened. Like, you know, that's what what you gotta do. Take that first step. Go to a meeting. Go to a hemp fest. You know, go get our signature.
Yeah, their
Show
signatures.
up. Sometimes you don't even, if you worry about meeting people, talking to people, sometimes just being at the office, helping at the office works too.
Right,
I mean,
right,
there's
right.
all kinds of little tasks
Sending
that you can
emails
do.
and doing,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, making phone
But you
calls.
gotta do it though, because we can't do it for you. We're doing it for ourselves.
We already did it.
You know, and if the state
Legalization.
isn't legal,
We got mushrooms coming.
yay! Look
All
out!
right.
All right, guys. So y'all know what to do.
Yeah.
So, like, subscribe, smash that button. Look at Sour Stone merch. Willie, tell them where to find it.
Description in the link. It's a Shopify link. Go click on it. Pick up some of this sweet Sorry We're Stone merch. Tag a friend that needs one of these badass pillows or one of these awesome bags. All kinds of stuff. Even got face masks and everything.
Right on, guys. And
Sorry.
also, want to give a big shout out to Cannabis Corners and our page and all of our friends at Facebook out there shouting out with us. Hanging
Oh,
out
I'm not
with
shouting
us,
out
you know.
Facebook though, man.
No, I'm shouting out Facebook. I'm shouting
Facebook
out.
sucks.
I'm shouting out Cannabis Corners. Okay,
Why do
Cannabis
you think
Corners
this
got
is
some good
on
things going on
Facebook?
though. You know what I'm saying? Cannabis Corners got good things going on though. They're trying to
I
help
can
a lot
tell
of
you
people.
that. I can tell you
So I just wanted to shout that out, you know, and man, this is great. Season 2, buddy.
that. Season 2, man. I'm excited. We're
Look
ready
for
to
us
bring
on
you
the road too. We're gonna bring you one of these from the beach.
We also have a show coming up soon. We'll make sure to
Oh,
get
yeah.
something set up for that. All
Alright,
right, you know
guys.
what? I'm sorry. I'm stoned. It's time to go.
Me too. Peace.
Peace.